working. I feel like our heads are not even. Okay. Our heads were not even. Okay. Hello, everybody. Good morning. Hi. Happy Monday. Mock is recovering from surgery. So she's a
You
little
guys see
swollen.
my bruise?
She's a little bruised and swollen. So you guys be nice to her, or I will cut you if you're not nice to her. All right.
It hurts to smile, which is of course something that's a real problem for me because it's something that I do a lot and it hurts. And I am swollen, and that's why my name is Chipmunk today.
I mean, she's here, and she's like,
smile.
I was just making her laugh this morning. She'd be like, ow, 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 ow. Yes, I think she looks beautiful too. So, it's fine. It's all going to be fine.
It's
Okay.
gonna be fine. It's going to be fine.
You guys, if you haven't subscribe to this podcast, put it in your pocket, put it in your fanny pack, put it in your little, whatever the Lululemon crossbody you have, whatever it is that you have, your backpack, but shove us in there and then you can watch us later.
I mean, be gentle. If you would, please.
With Mock, you can just throw me around. It's fine. I can take it. But definitely put us somewhere so you can watch us later. But subscribe to this podcast. Do it.
Yeah, and check out our deep dive with Monica Crowley from this past Saturday.
Good. It was really good.
Super good.
Mm-hmm.
Super good. Yeah. You do have a really good sunrise going on this morning.
Beautiful every morning. I mean, listen. Well, last week was pretty sketch because God, there was so much rain. I was starting to get seasonal affective disorder, but the sun is coming back out. So thank you.
The sun will come out.
Careful.
Ow.
You're gonna bust a stitch. Careful with that.
I am gonna bust a stitch.
Careful, Annie.
It's our deep dive is everywhere. So if you want to see it, it should be it's on YouTube. It should be on Rumble. It's on. I mean, probably. I think Valen by now will have put it on all the Facebook places.
Yeah.
All the normal places that it ever is.
You can find us. You can find all the places. chicksontheright.com/links is where you can find all of our things. Okay?
Yeah. You can find it there. And I know a lot of people have watched already and they have been raving about that particular deep dive. They really enjoyed it, which is great. And she's always great to talk to. Always great to talk to. So we look forward to having her back at some point. And we look forward to being back on her show. So yeah. Anyway, that's that. Okay, so we have a couple things to get to before, just like miscellaneous headlines before we get into the meat of today's show, which is all video stuff that we have to talk about. But let me just remind everybody, today is the day. Tickets go on sale for our meet and greet that is happening June 29th here in Indianapolis, Indiana. They go on sale today.
So
at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for Facebook insiders and local supporters. And then if there are tickets remaining at 5:00 p.m. Eastern Time, they will go on sale widely.
To the general public.
But I don't know that there will be any left. So we'll see. Maybe we're not as popular as we think we are.
Yeah. True.
But they do go on sale. So if you're not a Facebook insider or local supporter this morning, this is a good day to sign up because then you will also have first dibs at tickets to the Indianapolis meet and greet happening June 29th. So that is happening. And Ben Shapiro, in case you guys missed it, is #1 on the iTunes rap charts. And I am not making that up.
It's so weird.
He and Tom McDonald collaborated to do a rap song called Facts, and it actually kind of slaps. I'm not gonna lie.
She totally said that in our group chat on Friday. She was like, you guys, the song slaps. I am not a rap person, and if I do listen to rap, it's like old school, like Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre and stuff like that. I mean, I'll listen to that, but I was like, okay, this is kind of weird. But it's not really my thing. But I'm glad that he's trolling people.
Oh my God!
I appreciate. I absolutely appreciate and respect the trolling, and I'm super excited for him. So that's awesome. Yes, also Run DMC is really great. So that's great. You go, Ben, you go.
Oh my gosh. And the fact that he's like, because then I think it got at some point it was #1 across the board on iTunes, not just the rap category, but across the board. And so he started trolling like all these other big hip hop stars. Like he started tweeting at Nicki Minaj going, hey, look, we're peers now. And it was just so
we're
funny.
Peers now.
So if you have not yet seen the video or listened to the song, I just wanted to let everybody know it's out there. We're not going to play it because we'll immediately get a copyright strike. So there's no point.
Yeah.
Just wanted to tell everybody that it's out there.
Yeah, I thought
to it.
Becky said I like seeing him in a hoodie. That was weird, wasn't it?
Right?
Like
It
in the
was
video,
so
it's so like it was just weird. I was like, "What's he doing in a hoodie, looking
I
like a little
know.
thug?" Yeah, it was so strange.
Little Shap. That's what they should
Mhm.
call him.
Is that what they're
Lil
Little
Shap.
Shap? That's the thing is like even Tom McDonald has like the name of an accountant. He's like, "I'm your CPA." It's just like not really a rap name, but
It's not.
so
He
they
should be Lil Tom because there's so
they
many
need
Lils.
a lot of lils. Maybe they just need
Mhm.
some bigs or Big Daddy Ben or something. You know,
Yeah.
they need to get some better rap names. And then maybe I'll be on board all the way. We'll see. Yeah.
Anyway, you've got to check that out if you haven't already. And then if you're into football, Taylor Swift's team is going to be playing in the Super Bowl. so so that is of course big fat news. The Chiefs are going to be in the Super Bowl against the 49ers, and naturally there was lots and lots of coverage of her during the game last night. And she to her listen, people are so mad at her. In fact, she got absolutely yelled at by all of these Ravens fans as she was either leaving or coming. I can't remember which, but they were like, "You're ruining football. You're destroying football." And she's like, "I'm not doing anything." And I feel for her because she's really not. She's just going to games
She's just
and
boinking a
having a
football player.
boyfriend. I
Yeah,
mean, like,
it's all she's
I don't know why
doing.
people are being so mean to her because she's really not seeking the attention. She's just wanting to be there to support her boyfriend. And so when there was a shot of her in the suite, she just looked pissed because she was looking at a TV screen of her face on it. And she said, "Go away, please," to the cameras because she doesn't want all this extra attention. And then there's the people that are like, "She's totally with him for the money." And I'm like, she's worth way more than he is.
Yeah.
That is the dumbest argument ever. So I understand people are tired of seeing her, but it isn't her fault. So people can't get mad. I mean, people can't get mad at her. You can get mad at the NFL and all of the camera crews, I guess, but like this really isn't her problem. You know what I mean?
And the media. But I do think I kind of agree with Karen. I do think she does like the attention. She may not like it right now. Maybe
I don't
she's
think
a
she likes it at the games. I think she
maybe
likes
she's
it
a
in general,
I think
but
she
I
likes
think
it
she
in
wants to
general.
just watch her man play.
Yeah, I think she
And
definitely
he does a fine job doing that.
definitely
So,
likes the attention. Yeah, she
and
definitely
they're cute. I mean, like, what's not to love about a happy new couple? You know what I
they're
mean?
they're all right. They're okay.
I think they're kind of
I'm kinda
cute.
sick of seeing them. I'm really over it. Yeah,
Really?
I
Well,
can't.
that's how everybody feels, right?
I'm
They're
over it.
so tired of it. But again,
Yeah,
I just don't think it's her fault is the thing,
just cannot
you
deal
know?
with it. And it's like because I've seen her with what about 50,000 other dudes. So I'm just
And
like
write songs about them.
right. So I'm just like,
Yes.
okay, enough. Like I've seen them. Now move on. I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I expect that it'll probably be the best viewed, like the most viewed Super Bowl of all
Totally.
time in space.
Yeah.
I think the cheapest ticket right now is $9,500.
Yeah. Oh my God. And listen, and then there's a whole sect of people that the tinfoil hat. I don't know. You can think what you want. Maybe there's some people here who think that the NFL is completely rigged. So, you know,
I don't know about that.
yeah. Well, there are people that believe that. I don't care either way because I just don't care about the NFL. I give zero shits about the NFL. So, but there are people who actually believe this. Yeah, there are people who
Wow.
think that the NFL is rigged. And if you believe that, you're probably thinking, well, I mean, it's kind of convenient that these two are dating and that this is all, you know what I mean? Like, I don't
Oh my
know.
god, and then yeah, because if she wins Grammys, like a
Oh
bunch of
yeah.
Grammys, and he wins the Super Bowl, it's like they are
I mean, it's
essentially American
right.
royalty now. So
Totally. Yeah. So I mean, there's that.
there
Anyway.
is that.
Yeah.
You guys, as you know, the world is exploding all the way around, and we'll be talking about some of the explosiveness in just a little bit. But that is why you probably need to make sure that you're bookmarking the website for patriots.com/chicks for the number 4 patriots.com/chicks. I'm going to share my screen right now because one of the specials that they have going on this week is something that could be so handy to so many people. It's what they call the Patriot Power Generator 2000X. And so this has double the battery capacity of their very, very best selling unit. It's now expandable, so you can add way more power to handle all of your devices and refrigerators and what else you need running. And it comes with a free solar panel. So this is a hot item right now, and it tends to sell very, very quickly. So if a generator is something that you need for your home for when the power goes out, as it very well may, for all kinds of reasons, not the least of which are storms coming up in the spring. This is a great thing to have in your arsenal of disaster preparedness. So visit 4patriots.com/chicks and check out this generator and all of this week's discounts and deals. Don't forget, there is also free shipping on any order over $97. That's 4patriots.com/ make sure that you are checking that out.
I think we have some people giving you money and wishing you well. So.
Oh, Teresa Raimundo, thank you. Teresa says he's a freaking Pfizer shill. She's talking about Travis. And yes, that's true. No one said he was smart.
Yeah.
Never said he was smart.
No.
Simply said he's good at his footballing.
Hit in the head a couple times, just saying.
And Katarina Killian, thank you so much. Praying you have a quick and complete recovery. Thanks for showing up. Of course, I would not miss it, simply because I'm chipmunked today. So thank you very much for that. Appreciate you. And then the last little headline, actually two little things before we get to videos. The first thing is that there's a new poll out. Speaking of Taylor Swift, there's a new poll out of Gen Z voters. So I think this is like the 18 to 34s, if I'm not mistaken. The Gen Zers that are, some of which, because the 18-year-olds are very new to voting, they were asked, how much, if at all, does an endorsement by Taylor Swift affect your vote? And 18%, so almost a fifth of Gen Z voters said somewhat or significantly their decision of who to vote for would be impacted by whoever Taylor endorses, which of course is Joe Biden, as we already know.
Yeah. What did we say last week? I was talking about that last week because people are like, oh no, it's going to be fine. It's like this election will be great. We got in the back. I worry about that younger generation, the Gen Zs, because they're easily swayed and they're stupid. They're so stupid because they're like, who's Taylor Swift gonna vote for? Thumb up my butt. And so this is the thing, you guys. I mean, what? Oh my God. When you pay attention to what some singer, who cares what she thinks? But
and the fact that you're not embarrassed to answer that way on a poll.
I know.
Like, I suspect it's probably more, but that there were some people who were like, well, I'm not going to admit that Taylor's going to sway my vote.
Yeah.
That's this 20% was like, yeah, she's totally going to tell me what to do.
Right. That's like somebody asking me in the 80s, so who are you going to vote for? Whoever Madonna wants to vote for? And I'd be like, oh yeah, totally. Yeah, absolutely. Whoever Cyndi Lauper is going to vote for, I'm going to vote for, because girls just want to have fun, you guys. Wow. And it's ridiculous. But this generation, they're all about that.
Oh my God. That's depressing. So depressing. And then lastly, I know you guys, if you were worried about all the money that we've sent to Ukraine, and especially the part about not having much accountability for the money that we've been sending to Ukraine. And, you know, every time that you get paid and you look at the amount that's been taken out for taxes, just remember a lot of that is going to Ukraine. And it turns out there were 5 Ukrainian officials who have now been charged with stealing $40 million that were set aside for actual warheads and weaponry. But they decided that they wanted to have it for themselves. And so congrats to all of us for funding the rich and famous lifestyles of those 5 Ukrainian officials.
Right.
Way to go.
We're not funding the Ukrainian pensions.
Yeah.
You guys go back to work and make sure you can pay for your retirement, even though like half of us won't be able to retire. But, you know, make sure you're paying for their pensions while they're stealing money.
I know.
Yeah, it's a grift. Bad. It's a grift, Eileen. It is.
Oh my God, it so is.
Yeah.
It so is. And then meanwhile, so that's one area of the world that, of course, has been exploding for a long time. And now everything in the Middle East has been really heating up. And unfortunately, as you'll see from this headline, we've lost 3 U.S. soldiers in Jordan due to a drone attack by Iran proxies. And so this is just escalating. They've already been attacking ships out there that U.S. soldiers are on. And what have we heard from this White House? I mean, they've been absolutely useless. And their message has been just,
what is your message to Hezbollah and its backer, Iran? Don't.
Super scary.
What's the message to Iran?
Don't.
Oh my God.
It was very important to send a very clear message to anyone who might seek to take advantage of the conflict in Gaza to threaten our personnel here or anywhere else in the region. Don't do it.
okay, that's neat. So that didn't work. Because
Surprise!
nothing works. Because Joe Biden, the foreign policy expert, is a complete loser who knows nothing about foreign policy.
And he's weak. So weak.
He's weak. Yeah. So he released a big fat 3-paragraph statement about how, oh, you know, we're grieving for those service members that were killed, and our hearts are broken, and they were patriots. All that is well and good, but you're causing the problem by not showing strength ever. And so it's been so frustrating. Trump, to his credit, released a whole different kind of tweet storm compared to Joe Biden's wishy-washy statement. And he wrote, do you want to read it? Because it'll give me a rest of my little mouth.
Sure. The drone attack on a U.S. military installation in Jordan, killing 3 American service members and wounding many more, marks a horrible day for America. My most profound sympathies go to the families of the brave service members we have lost. I ask all Americans to join me in praying for those who have been wounded. This brazen attack on the United States is yet another horrific and tragic consequence of Joe Biden's weakness and surrender.
There's more. And
3 years ago, Iran was weak, broke, and totally under control. Thanks to my maximum pressure policy, the Iranian regime could barely scrape $2 together to fund their terrorist proxies. Then Joe Biden came in and gave Iran billions of dollars, which the regime has used to spread bloodshed and carnage throughout the Middle East. This attack would never have happened if I were president. Not even a chance. Just like the Iranian-backed Hamas attack on Israel would have never happened. The war in Ukraine would never have happened. And we would right now have peace throughout the world. Instead, we're on the brink of World War III.
And then one more.
This terrible day is yet more proof that we need an immediate return to peace through strength, so that there will be no more chaos, no more destruction, and no more loss of precious American lives. Our country cannot survive with Joe Biden as commander-in-chief. He's 150% correct.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And listen, there's blood on his hands.
Absolutely. Absolutely right. And so, you know, the typical war hawks were immediately out in force on Twitter and elsewhere saying, attack Iran, like kill them, do all the bad things to Iran.
Mm-hmm.
Iran's got to go. And so it's interesting because now there's so many on the right who are so anti-involvement. And Lindsey Graham, of course, total war hawk.
Oh my God.
Total war hawk.
Mm-hmm.
Nikki Haley too. I mean, they are immediately like, we have to avenge these deaths, right? I mean, and of course they would. So Tucker did not mince words to Lindsey Graham and Senator Cornyn, who both said, Cornyn said target Tehran, Lindsey said hit Iran now and hit them hard, and Tucker called them effing lunatics for saying such.
Yeah. And
he wasn't the only one. It was also Vivek coming out to criticize those two as well, saying for centuries, American statesmen reviled the thought of civilian deaths and war as a last resort. Now we have the likes of Lindsey Graham and Nikki Haley giddily calling to hit Iran and hit them hard. It's disgusting and says a lot about the kind of GOP they're trying to recreate. But the question is, so we're just going to let this happen and not have an answer? What's their, what are they saying?
Well, who's saying what are like Lindsey
Tucker and Vivek? What are they suggesting? That we just sit back and take it? I don't understand what they're saying.
No, I mean, I hear what you're saying is that, but then again, Mock, they have a point where it's like, we cannot, do you think that we could win a war against Iran? Like, because if we go into World War III, are we prepared to handle World War III as a country, because from a military perspective, I don't think that we're prepared to do that. I mean,
well, nobody wants World War III, but there has to be a response. There has to be some kind of response.
I totally agree. But like when they say hit them hard and do all that, I mean, I think they actually want World War III. I think those guys want that. And we're not prepared for that. But yeah, there needs to be some sort of leveled response. I get it. There has to be. But we can't win World War III. We can't. We're so weak right now. We're not prepared. And we've been giving away all of our everything when it comes to our military equipment, when it comes to money. We're too busy fighting wars for everybody else that we definitely don't look at ourselves and we don't prepare ourselves. So we're screwed if we have to go into World War III. We're totally screwed. No one's watching out for us. No one's giving us money. No one's helping us. I mean, so I worry about that. Do I say that they're effing lunatics? I don't know if they're lunatics for wanting to fight back. No, I don't think that they're lunatics, but I don't think we're prepared to fight World War III. No.
I mean, I would hope, and I'm probably wrong, but I would hope that Lindsey isn't calling for World War III, but Iran does need to pay. There has to be consequences for this. And they've just been doing it and doing it and doing it. Now there's actual soldier deaths as a result. So we can't just be like, don't. That cannot be our foreign policy any longer.
I hear you. But see, and that's why Trump does have all the points, is that it wouldn't have happened if we actually had strength in our leadership, but we don't. We simply don't, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, we have a guy who has dementia and he's not even running the country. That statement that you put out where he's like, me and Jill, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
He probably didn't even write that. I mean, I guarantee I'm 100% sure that he doesn't even know what was in that statement. He has no idea what's going on a daily basis. He is eating pudding and he can't even walk. I mean, he just is completely clueless. He's weak. I want to say all the words. I got to be careful with my words, but he's a complete wuss. And the response to all of these countries has been, wussification, total wussification. I want to say the other word, but I can't. So
Lia, thank you so much. Lia says, we're not going to sit back and take it. There are other ways to deal with the situation than all out World War III.
Totally.
Yeah. I mean, there's no, that's the thing. I don't even think Lindsey Graham, who I do think is a huge war hawk, I don't even think he's saying, bring on World War III. Like, nobody wants that. But what he is saying is Iran's got to pay. And he's right. I cannot understand why that makes him a fucking lunatic. Like, I don't understand Tucker and Vivek's reaction to that. Unless they're just assuming that Lindsey is calling for World War III.
I think that they're assuming that. I think that they're totally assuming that.
I don't know if that's right. Maybe it is, but
yeah. And I think that they're the kind of the old guard where they are okay with that. They're all right with that. But we're not prepared. We are totally effed if we get into a conflict like that. We already are like putting our resources all over the place and taking care of everybody else.
And we're making 5 Ukrainian officials super rich, apparently.
Yeah.
So.
And listen, I'm sure there are really great 18-year-old dudes out there. I'm sure that you guys have some. You have kids and grandkids and you have an 18-year-old. But can you imagine a lot of the 18-year-olds right now that would just be like, oh yeah, let me go fight Iran. Let me go fight World War III. Let's do
Absolutely
it. Woo! I mean, it's a completely different generation now than it was 40, 50 years ago.
Yeah.
Different.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. All right. So that's another area of the world that is, of course, exploding. And then we are also dealing with the continued mess at the border. So January 26th came and went, and the Biden administration did not make good on their big threat to Abbott to stop everything that he's doing on January 26th or else.
Yeah, because again, being
just
a
like
wuss.
Policy, just like his foreign policy, he doesn't mean anything that he says.
No.
He just wants to wag his finger at people and then make them scared, and nobody's scared because everybody knows he's a total wuss. And so, but thankfully, he didn't do anything, because if he would have done something, it would have been a complete disaster. And here's Tucker talking to Governor Abbott about this whole mess.
The administration declares that it plans to federalize the National Guard of the state of Texas, your National Guard. What will be your response?
Well, first, I'll be shocked. That would be a boneheaded move on his part, a total disaster. But for one, as you might imagine, we are prepared in the event that unlikely event does occur to make sure that we will be able to continue exactly what we've been doing over the past month, and that is building these barriers, whether it be the Concertina wire or other anti-crime border barriers, whatever we've been building. The Biden administration is now trying to attack us because of it, and we will continue to do exactly what we're doing to expand our denial of illegal entry into the state of Texas.
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't we?
For him.
Why wouldn't we do that? It's like, this is the thing. And so he's like, all Mr. Tough Guy, I'm going to do this. And now he's basically shown the country, shown the world what he stands for, which is, law breaking. He stands for law breaking. Biden.
Well, and he's also showing the world that when he says that there's a red line, there really isn't.
There isn't a red line. Yeah, and he's done that with foreign countries. He's doing it in his own country.
Mm-hmm.
The guy's a complete wuss. He is that. He's the P word. He is the P word. And everybody sees it. And so now, not only do we see it as, people in the United States, but all these foreign countries, all these people around the world are like, God, that guy, not only does he have dementia, but he's a wuss. So why wouldn't we poke the United States? Why wouldn't we do that?
Yeah.
And they're doing it.
Well, and your Lieutenant Governor, Dan Patrick, was also asked, I think by Maria Bartiromo, if we're facing down civil war, like how is this really going to play out?
Don't mess with Texas. We're serious about securing our border, and I'm glad the president stood down on Friday and did not confront us. That would be the wrong thing to do. We don't want a confrontation, and they shouldn't want a confrontation.
Well,
we're just doing our job. Let us do our job.
Because, what is this going to turn into a civil war? You've got the Texas rights versus federal rights, both sides with guns.
And we believe constitutionally we are right. We have a right to defend our citizens. We have a right to defend this country. Okay. And we're just doing the job. This whole idea of Shelby Park, that they would come there, is just ludicrous. Look, these young men and women who serve our National Guard and our DPS, these are the best of the best. Why would he want to send anyone down to confront them? Yeah. I'm glad they stepped down, but they need to do the job. And the only reason he's paying attention now is because of the election in November. Yeah, that's the only reason he's paying attention.
Real quick on the Chinese nationals, we've seen up 1,100%, military-aged men. What are they doing here? What's your assessment?
1,100%.
Yeah.
But listen, it's not gotten any worse under Biden, but 1,100% increase? Okay.
Yeah, it's fine. This is exactly how it's always been. It's
just nothing.
It's been a problem for decades.
Nothing's changed. Nothing has changed at all. My God. It's not.
Well, and now, of course, you're hearing talks about this bill that's floating through the Senate. It's this bipartisan border bill that Biden is all excited about, which, of course, means it's as bad as you probably think it is. Now, the full text isn't out, but they are talking about all this agreement. And Senator Lankford, a Republican senator, was on Fox to explain the part of the bill that everybody is focused on, which is that there's this cap, this daily cap that suggests that once you hit 5,000 illegals, then you shut down the border for the day.
My God.
And I'm like, how is this better?
Oh my God, it's not. It's not better.
So he's going to try to explain the fact he thinks that we're misinterpreting it, that everybody's misinterpreting it.
You guys are stupid.
We're just all really dumb.
Just stupid.
And so he's going to explain that part of the bill that is being so widely misinterpreted.
This is the most misunderstood section of this proposal. Let me tell you briefly what it is. In the last 4 months, we've had 7 days. In 4 months, we've had 7 days that we had less than 5,000 people. This is set up for if you have a rush of people coming at the border closes down, no one gets in. This is not someone standing at the border with a little clicker saying, I'm going to let one more in. We're at 4,999, and then it has to stop. It is a shutdown of the border, and everyone actually gets turned around. Okay. That's the focus that we have right now, is how do we actually intervene in this administration and turn people around, not let people in.
So there may be some initial measurement. You get to that rolling 5,000 in a week, and then it's zero from that point on. But there is some initial measurement. Our Bill Malugin is reporting that the number would dial back then to about 3,750 a day at the border. And then once you hit that for about 2 weeks, the gates would open again. Can you confirm or deny that?
What the hell?
Yeah, it's not, again, it's not gates opening. That's a misunderstanding of the bill itself. It's how many can we process and actually deport.
Oh my God.
When you raise the standard for people coming across, when you increase the detention beds, when you increase deportation flights, you're not letting people in. And people are thinking about how the Biden administration is running it now. Right now, the Biden administration is allowing, for instance, 1,500 people a day just to come to the ports of entry, get a work permit, and get released in the country. People coming between ports of entry get what's called a notice to appear and get released in the country. All of that stops. We're focused on how many people can we process quickly and then deport out of the country, not release into the country. It would be absolutely absurd for anyone to be able to propose something to say we're just going to slow the number of releases. We're focused on how do we actually enforce our border and get us back to zero people actually crossing the border illegally. Every administration has struggled to be able to get the authorities in place to be able to actually enforce our border. Let's put them in place.
So, Senator Mike Lee.
Why is
I
this
don't
so freaking
understand
hard?
that.
Why is this so freaking hard? Just
I don't know. Just close it. Close
Just
the damn
close
thing.
it.
My
This
God.
is not brain surgery. These people, oh my God, they're so infuriating. Just close it. Just close the damn border. What this whole like 5,000 people? I mean, and then we like open it back. No, just close it, you morons, and quit mansplaining to me.
Right? It's just amazing. And then yet Michael Steele, who used to be a Republican and who's now anything but, was talking about how this is, Republicans should be all about this.
President Biden says that if the Senate border bill passes into law, if it passes and he gets a chance to sign it, he would use the new emergency authority provided to shut down the border when it becomes overwhelmed. Last I checked, that's what Republicans wanted. So will they really tank this for Trump? Even though it has stuff in it that they want?
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I don't see any indication otherwise. You have the Speaker of the House coming out and saying it's DOA. I mean, okay, so how does he backtrack on that? I mean, the bill's not changing. Now, look, it's not in the bill language yet. The letter of intent and what the formalities of the bill have kind of been outlined. We know that the president of the United States, Joe Biden, had said very clearly, if you give me the bill, I'll do the enforcement mechanism. That ticks off some of his progressive members of his party, but it achieves ultimately the broader vision of both Republicans and Democrats to get something done on the border.
I'm so irritated by this. Biden, he's like, listen, I can erase all your student debt just like that. Yeah, but I can't close the border without Congress. I got to have all this. It's a bunch of bullcrap.
It is a bunch of bullcrap. And he said that in a speech. This is what he said. This is just a few seconds of him addressing this border bill. Here's what he said. And
it'll also give me, as president, the emergency authority to shut down the border until it could get back under control. If that bill were the law today, I'd shut down the border right now and fix it quickly.
Full of crap. You are a liar.
He can do that. This is what I was telling you before the show. I was like, please, we need a picture of Glinda the Good Witch saying, you've had that power all along.
Right. I mean, he could have. No. It's like he does it with a bunch of other things. They've all done it. It's like you've had the power to close the border. Like you've had the power to, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of all your school debt. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Like sweeping everything, like executive power to do everything that he thinks he can do. Close the damn border. Close it. Close it. Just like on the first day that you got into office, you reversed everything that Trump did. Reverse it. Do an Uno card. Do the Uno card that reverses it. I mean, what the hell, dude? It's astounding how much they lie. It's crazy.
C. Douglas, thank you. C. Douglas says, I've been watching my mother with dementia go downhill, and she is just one step ahead of Biden. It's so sad. Yeah, I mean, you can see the deterioration happening, especially just look at a clip from 4 years ago, and the transformation is remarkable.
Yeah.
Barbara Trammell, thank you. Barbara says his retaliation was to pause the liquid natural gas permits. That is a slap at Texas. Yeah, because I guess that was what he did on Friday. And he was like, oh, by the way, I'm going to listen to all these climate weirdos and I'm going to just stop the exports of liquefied natural gas because that hurts Texas. It actually hurts the entire country. It hurts our energy independence. But this is how spiteful and ridiculous and stupid this administration is.
Yeah, just like they were spiteful when they came in and they did all that crap to the border. Look how much it's destroyed our country. I mean, he came in and he was like, everything that Trump has done, I'm going to undo it just because I hate Trump. It had nothing to do with the country, nothing to do with you and me. It had everything to do with, I hate this guy so much. I have TDS so bad. I'm going to reverse everything that he's done. And look what's happened.
Because it was racist.
Oh my God. He's
xenophobic.
It's just because I hate him. So I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to play the opposite game. Well, look, it sucks now.
Yeah.
Everything sucks. Yeah.
Robin Brooks, thank you. Robin says, meanwhile, they fight over that park and still more gaps in the wall, not guarded by anyone. Shaking my head. Yes, the whole thing is so aggravating. Marcus Drake, thank you. Marcus says, we need to shut down the hundreds of bases we have around the world and set them up on the border. Yeah. We need to be America firsting the heck out of the border without question. I mean, because this is just, oh man, this is out of control.
Yeah, it is.
Out of control. Reminder, we talked about it last week, but just in case you're not taking all of your required daily requirements of veggies and fruits, and I know you're not. Don't pretend that you're getting all the fruits and veggies that you're supposed to every day. I know you're not. There's no way. And listen, if you don't like veggies, if you're one of those people that's like anti-veggie, I hear you. It took me a long time to get to a place where I actually liked consuming vegetables. I'm better, but I know I don't get enough. And this is what I use to supplement it. It's Field of Greens. It's a green powder that you just take a scoop of and put in 8 ounces of water. You shake it up real good and you have yourself a delicious, yummy, and depending on the flavor that you buy, this one is the wild berry. This one tastes like blueberries. You have a delicious, fruity tasting drink that is giving you so much of the goodness that you get from fruits and veggies in an easy to take beverage. So try it. Field of Greens. You just visit FOG Chicks. That's FOG Chicks.com. Use code Chicks. You'll get 15% off your first order plus free rush shipping. It tastes delicious. It's super good for you. If you're on a kick this year with your New Year's resolutions to be healthier, that's a really great way to do it. FOGChicks.com. Okay. The other big thing that happened after our show on Friday was that the judgment came down for what Donald Trump was going to have to pay E. Jean Carroll for defamation. So just to remind everybody, in case you have not been paying attention to this case, this is that weirdo who thinks rape is sexy. E. Jean Carroll is a complete freak of nature. Although perhaps I shouldn't say that because maybe she'll come after me for defamation.
She probably will. Yeah, this is the thing. I mean, you can't say things out loud anymore without people suing you for $83 million.
Yeah. So she sued initially for sexual assault and defamation. She won that suit. A jury decided, yep, he's guilty of sexual assault and we're going to make him pay her $5 million. So he is in the middle of appealing that. But ever since that judgment, he has continued to say all of the things about her that led her to file the first defamation case. So she filed a second suit. And back in the fall, a jury decided, yep, he's guilty of continuing to defame her. And at that point, he didn't present defense. He didn't go to that particular trial. His lawyer, Alina, went. She obviously didn't do well because he lost again. And then this past Friday was the day that the jury decided on the settlement amount. E. Jean Carroll was asking for $10 million. The jury decided, no, that's not enough because he's being so awful and he continues to say all the things, even though he's been under warning. Now we're going to make it $83 million. So Alina Habba was enraged, as you might expect. And as you'll hear, she was mad because she wasn't allowed to call witnesses to this case on Friday. But the case was already heard. There was nothing else to decide. It was already decided. This was just the day that they were going to make statements and that they were going to decide the dollar amount. So what you're going to hear is Alina and then Jake Tapper at the end, because this is showing on CNN. So Jake Tapper at the end then talks to a reporter to kind of break down what Alina said.
There was no proof. And I couldn't prove that she didn't bring in the dress. There was no DNA. There was no expert. My experts were denied. Two of them were denied to come in. They didn't let me bring up that Reid Hoffman funded Miss Kaplan. And you know what we got in there? That my witness, who was her friend, who said that she is a drug addict and the drug addict is herself. That friend, I found out in there, was paid for by Miss Kaplan's firm, and that is disgusting. That is a violation of everything I stand for, and that is why I stand with Trump. And that is why so many Americans are so proud that he is running again and so excited to run to the ballot box. But don't get it twisted. We are seeing a violation of our justice system. Ladies and gentlemen, you are not allowed to be stripped of every defense that you have. You are not allowed
All right,
to be
so
told
you're getting an idea now about
and
why Donald Trump's attorney is perceived as effective as she is, which is not particularly effective. Laura Coates, if you could truth squat a little bit of this, Alina Habba was saying that Donald Trump was not allowed to introduce defenses. What is she talking about?
She's talking about nonsense, and she's trying to rewrite history. And I honestly would not be surprised if she herself is now vulnerable to accusations that she has made defamatory statements of some kind without proof to the contrary. But let me tell you, he did have an opportunity, Jake. This was the damages phase of a trial that he could have attended last year. His presence was voluntary in the sense of whether he was required to actually sit in the trial, but his defense was not voluntary. He had every opportunity, essentially, to put forth evidence, to put up a defense, to testify himself, to do all the things that she spoke of on that courthouse step just now. They made a decision that was different from that. Now you had the penalty phase of a trial, and the judge specifically told them, here are the parameters. We're not relitigating this issue. A jury has already decided the issue that you could have participated fully in. And for that reason, you are limited in trying to have a second bite at the apple, even in the big apple. That was the clear directive from the judge. And so to suggest somehow that it is New York or the jury system or somehow something nefarious was going on that muzzled the defense in the way that they chose to actually defend the case is truly ludicrous.
Oh man, our judicial system is so borked. It really is. Because, you know, like last week, there was some chick I saw that stabbed her boyfriend after smoking pot. She stabbed him like 150 times. And the judge was like, oh, I mean, it's fine. You were in a state of psychosis, so you go ahead and walk.
You didn't mean to do it. That wasn't really you.
You were in a state of psychosis. What
a precedent. Oh, my God.
Right? I mean, it's like, I just don't understand. Our judicial system is just so borked. And you and I talked earlier. You can think what you want about Alina, because I know you don't like her. And
I just don't think she's effective. I know people love her because she's tough talking. She's losing every case.
Well, yeah. I mean, he could probably get a better attorney at this point. He probably should. But I mean, there is just such... Everybody is people on our side, people on the other side are probably just delighted about this $83 million. Oh my God, he needs to shut up. And he's like, he's pay $83 million. It's freaking crazy that he's having to pay $83 million. I mean, what is even going on? What's even happening there? Like, I'm looking at this and I'm like, what? Because he said she's not my type. It's like,
essentially, that's it.
And people are pissed because he left the courtroom. And I'm like, has anybody seen what Hunter Biden has done? I mean, there's such a double standard in this country. That's what, just if you take all different cases and you see stuff, there is no equality in justice. There's just not. Like, our judicial system is just so borked. And it is.
And I can't imagine the rage he must feel.
Oh, I'm sure.
Especially because, you know, he's saying none of this is true. I've never even met this woman. We're in one picture together. I've been in pictures with a zillion people. I don't know her. This didn't happen. So then for the jury to say, well, you did this and now you're going to pay $5 million. I can't imagine the rage. And I would be just anybody would be wanting to scream at the injustice, right? They would want to be saying, this is not true. This didn't happen. And I totally get it. But if you've been slapped with a $5 million fine for saying XYZ, the thing to do is to not continue to say XYZ, because this is what happens, right? And so if he would have just been like, he could have said things like, this is an injustice. I did not do the things that I was accused of. But then he can't help himself. He just continues to go on and on and on about her. And so at some point, it's like he's his own worst enemy. As you know, I've said that before. This is the former assistant attorney general talking about how this all was meant to just get him to stop talking.
I agree fully with Andy. The whole point of this enormous damages amount, unprecedented damages amount, is to tell Donald Trump to shut up. Right? If you could think of it this way, every time Donald Trump wants to insult Jean Carroll, he's going to have to write a $40 million check for each sentence. That's how bad this is. I can't believe his lawyers haven't succeeded in just telling him, look, campaign for president, run for president, make your accusations about a two-tiered justice system, but leave this alone. Stop attacking people who are no longer public citizens. Stop attacking people where you've already lost and the court has already said what you've done is liable. Because every time he insults her again, he's going to have to cut another $20 to $30 million check.
He's Judd Nelson in The Breakfast Club, and the principal's like, "You want another, pal? Yeah." And he's like, "You want a?" He's like, "Not even close, bud." I mean, that's what Trump is essentially doing. That's essentially what he's doing. I swear to God. But when E. Jean Carroll walked out of the courtroom last week, and I was listening in my car because I was out running errands and stuff, and I heard somebody go, "How do you feel? How do you feel, E. Jean?" And I was like, "How do you think she feels rich?" Yeah. She feels rich, you morons. I mean, it's like, how do you think she feels right now? And I think about this whole, just the case in general, because she said, I wasn't raped. It wasn't rape, right? I mean, we determined. So think of all the people think of all the women that have actually been raped. And the case is just so strange to me, because she's like, I represent all these women that weren't raped, but that went on
want a payday.
That want a payday. Yeah. Because I know women who have been raped, brutally raped, and they didn't get 83 million. You know what I mean? A lot of them just saw their attackers go to jail for maybe, I don't know, just a couple years, and they got out. And they didn't get any money. So what is she doing here? You know what I mean?
Well, the good news, if it makes you feel any better, is that she said she plans to do good with the money.
Oh, so she's not going to give that money to rape victims, because if she really wanted to do something good, she'd give that money to actual rape victims.
Well, I don't know what she means by I'm not in her brain, thank God. But all she said is that she plans to do good with the money.
Yeah. Okay. Because
who knows what that means?
Give that away to women who have suffered. I hope she does that. I hope she does good with that money. I hope she does. I really do.
It's so much money, my God. And then there was the moment too that in the closing arguments, Trump walked out, which was not particularly looked kindly on by the court or probably the jury, who was still not. They were still in the throes of deciding, well, how much are we going to make him pay this woman? So here's a little news clip about that.
About Trump's exit today, that might be a surprise or drama on TV. In real life, in federal court, it is mind-boggling. It just doesn't happen. And of course, it just drips with contempt for the whole process, for the plaintiff, for the jury. It's almost calculated. First, he proves the very point that that the lawyer was saying. He thinks the rules don't apply to him. Everybody stood still and respectfully for a closing argument, and it virtually begs the jury to impose stratospheric punitive damages.
I know.
Yeah, I wonder if he said the same things about Hunter Biden when Hunter Biden disrespected the judicial system. I doubt it.
Well, he just defied Congress. I think Hunter's shown up to all of his court dates or whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's a little bit different. It's not the actual judicial system. But it obviously, that guy is saying it didn't help Trump with the jury. It didn't help him be sympathetic in their eyes when he didn't respect the process. How could he respect the process though? When he's being double tried for defamation of this idiotic psychopath. I can totally understand his rage. I mean, I totally get it. But it didn't help him to walk out.
Yeah.
Shannon
and people
Green,
and listen, and also there's a defamation on his side too, because you see all over social media people are calling him a rapist.
well,
when
he
in fact,
remember he countersued and lost.
right,
He already
wasn't
lost that.
He wasn't convicted of rape. You see what I'm saying?
He
that
was convicted of sexual assault. Right.
right. Well, there's a difference. There's a difference, and
which is why he countersued.
Right.
But
and so that
he did not win.
This is the thing. That's why I'm like, okay, well, that also is defamation, isn't it? I mean, if people are running around, he's a rapist. I would be kind of mad about that too. If I were on his side, I can imagine why he is upset. By this whole thing.
God.
I can imagine why he is like, I don't know how he hasn't completely lost his mind.
I don't either. He has got some stamina. Like it is unreal.
Yeah.
Unreal. His stamina. Shannon Bream was also talking about this just from a legal aspect, and what happens from here.
Shannon, I mean, those numbers are just eye-catching.
Absolutely.
If nothing has stopped the former president from talking about this may.
And think about it. He has been able to take on his enemies at all different levels in many different business ventures and all things over time. But when you run up against a federal court and a jury and a judge, you find out you're going to hit a wall at some point if you're found guilty. I mean, $83 million has got to make him think twice about every single time he wants to bring up this case or talk about the plaintiff.
Now, she talks about appeal.
Trump is appealing.
This is the appeal part. Sorry.
Yeah.
Do you want to just play this real quick?
No, yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Both of the Carroll verdicts in hopes of overturning everything. Is there any chance he succeeds in that effort?
Very little chance. The overwhelming majority of cases that get appealed the appeal is denied and the case is affirmed. And I think based on what we saw, particularly the evidence of Donald Trump's incessant defamation, even during the course of his defamation trial, this is going to be a fairly easy one, in my opinion, for the appellate judges to resolve. They will affirm the conviction or the finding in favor of E. Jean Carroll, and Donald Trump will be forced to pay out that $83 million.
God, that sketch artist is terrible. It made him look like Lindsey Graham in one of those pictures. It was really bad.
I'm sorry, Patty, that I accidentally highlighted your comment. I was trying to block a robot, one of those robots, because I kept seeing all these hearts, and it's clearly a bot. So I wanted to get rid of that. Anyway.
I don't know if it's going to make him shut up or not. I just don't know.
My God, it has to, because he is going to have to pay so much money.
This guy is balls to the wall at this point. He's just like, I don't care. I've got what, like, I don't know, 15 years left to live. What do I care? Screw all these people. I'm going out. He's like Elmo with flames at this point. I totally would be. I would be flaming Elmo at this point. I think
he could just so easily say the things without defaming her. You know what I mean? If he wants to rage, he should rage. He's got plenty to rage at. But just can you just not say personal things about her?
And then he needs to do what you and I talked about in pre-show, which is get the heck out of New York. He's got to get he needs to pull all of his money out of New York, because listen, he helps the local economy there in New York.
Yeah. Oh my God.
He needs to quit helping. He needs to quit helping that city and state. Get out of there. Like, pull everything out of there. That's what I would do if I were him. I'd be like, screw this place. This place isn't helping me. I've helped it. It doesn't help me. Screw all y'all. And I'd pull everything out of there. All of it.
Yeah.
And I'd do it yesterday.
Yes. Yes, indeed. That's exactly what he should do, because New York is not kind to him. And in fact, the whole reason this was ever even a case is because they just decided, literally for E. Jean Carroll, to make this new law that there's this 1-year window that someone who claims sexual assault from like 4 billion years ago has a year to file it, where there's no statute of limitations. They just erase it. And that was literally written for her. And so she, of course, took advantage of it. This has all been very, very calculated, for sure.
Get out of there. Plus, it smells like urine. Get out of there.
Robin Zecca, thank you. Robin says, does anyone remember when police were not allowed to check if you were a legal citizen at traffic stops? Does anyone
know
remember
what?
when police were not allowed? Yes, I do remember that.
When they were not allowed, or when they? I remember when they were allowed. Is that the question?
I think that's what you meant.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
That's what you meant.
Yeah, they absolutely were allowed to.
Sorry, I'm trying to block this idiot.
Stop it, RK
God.
Mawadi. If that's your real
God.
name. Yeah.
Anyway. Okay, so we got to get to some Biden craziness because, man, was he ever super Biden-y the other day in his speech. So first of all, he calls Trump the sitting president.
See what he recently said about that he wants to see the economy crash this year? A sitting president.
Oh my God.
To say in my face, bless me, Father, come on, man.
And people laugh.
They love it. They love it.
Oh my God. I just cannot. I can't.
What is the whole bless me? What is that?
Well, he thinks he's a Catholic. He's one of those Catholics who's like, oh, let's kill all the babies. Oh, he's one of those. Those are the best kind of Catholics, you guys.
So he calls Trump the sitting president.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. Then there was this gibberish. I can pick out a few words, but like when you try to figure out how they go together, your guess is as good as mine on this one.
Asylum officers and over 100 cutting-edge inspection machines to help detect and stop fentanyl coming on our southwest border.
I have no idea what he just said. No idea. I mean, I usually can translate for you, but I can't.
There was some border stuff. I think there was a niner in there somewhere.
I can't. I'm done. I can't translate for him anymore.
And then he flat out lied about President Trump not visiting a cemetery. This is a perpetuated lie. This is kind of like the fine people on both sides. People who perpetuate those lies, they lose instant credibility because those things have been debunked 1,000 billion times. So, and he gets all ragey about it. And then for some reason, I guess is trying to make us all believe that his son Beau is buried at this French cemetery. Like that's how whack this entire clip you're about to hear is.
Donald Trump, when he was commander-in-chief, refused to visit a cemetery, U.S. cemetery outside of Paris for fallen American soldiers.
What?
And he referred to those heroes, and I quote, as suckers and losers.
It's a lie.
He actually said that.
No, he didn't.
He said that. How dare he say that? How dare he talk about my son and all of us like that?
Your son is not there, you idiot. And that is a lie. Everything he just said was a freaking lie.
Oh my
Every
God,
last thing.
he is so screamy and crazy.
Insane.
He's like, I mean, seriously, it's insane. And I know I shouldn't laugh at people who have dementia, but he is 2 seconds away from like, I want my pudding. I want my pudding. Like that's
no.
Is it not? Like seriously, your grandpa who is just so angry because like his nurse is doing something that she shouldn't be doing, or like like turn on my stories. He's going to start screaming at people because One Life to Live isn't on. He's so mad, you guys.
So ragey and so lying.
Not
just
okay.
Such a big fat liar.
None of that is okay.
Pamela Carpenter, thank you. Pamela says you cannot prove a negative. Trump's frustration is totally understandable. I admire his courage. Trump has go F you money. He does, but you guys, 83 million.
Yeah,
he's beyond F you money.
He's gonna run out.
He's gonna run, and he's got legal bills up the wazoo.
Right.
I mean, this is just one of a zillion cases, so he needs to.
He doesn't have that kind of money.
Himself.
Right. No. He's not Elon Musk. I mean, he doesn't have the kind of money where he can just keep giving people 83 million just for fun.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Not okay.
Unfortunately, Clyburn, who was at that same speech that you just saw Biden at, Clyburn not helping Joe in the whole dementia department. He too cannot even remember any of the legislation that he's actually trying to brag about on Joe's behalf.
And what did he do? He created what we call the sort of, that act
that act.
A lot of people wonder what it's about to repair what was wrong.
And
So
What?
So
in
this
the world?
this explains a lot. I mean, they speak the same language. That's why he endorsed him. This explains everything.
Oh my
So
god!
they said, you know the thing. You know
You
it.
know the thing. That's exactly right.
You
Oh
know
my
it.
gosh, so pathetic.
My God.
Gavin, who is probably the presumptive Democrat nominee, if it's not Michelle Obama.
I think it's one of the two, you guys. It's
one of the
happening
two.
in May. This is my prediction. In May, it's happening.
Well, it's not your predict. That is like there are reports
happening.
saying that that's happening in May.
Yeah.
That there's like a big plan. There's a big push for that, and they're waiting till May because they don't want it to make it look super obvious.
We're so screwed.
But
we're so
yeah, we're
screwed,
completely.
you guys.
We're
Oh my
completely
God.
effed. Totally effed.
Start
And so
prepping.
Gavin though is trying to pretend that he would never ever dream of running against someone so elite. But first, before he brags on Biden, he wants to talk about how Democrats just need to change their messaging. You just need to make sure that they're bragging enough about their many
need
accomplishments.
to lift up the issues, the successes, this extraordinary successes of the last 3 years, the Biden-Harris administration, and then we drive contrast. It's not even a complicated campaign. We have the receipts. We have the best 3-year record of any modern American presidency. Period. Full stop.
Oh my God. Oh my
Period, full
God.
stop.
Mock. He is, I have a hurt leg, get in my car guy. He is that guy.
Totally.
He is
Totally.
like as charming as Ted Bundy. He's that guy, you guys.
He is.
He is so gross. How can any woman look at that and go, "Oh yeah, that's hot"? That's
Because
hot.
it's the same women that got into the car.
They
with
got.
Bundy.
They are. You're that woman. You would have gotten into the car. You would have.
I mean, to be fair, I would have gotten in Ted Bundy's car, but I definitely am not falling for Gavin Newsom.
So true. She would have gotten into Ted Bundy's. You're right. That's true. But I mean, he has way too much like product in his hair.
So much product.
Please tell me, like, there's no way. At any point in your life, you would not have found Gavin attractive. Please.
No. Oh God, no.
Okay.
He's so slithery and
Ted Bundy.
slimy and
Yes, Ted Bundy. Yes, she would have found attractive, but not him. I would have punched both of them. Both of them would have been punched. Gross.
Well, and so look at this woman. Look at the woman's face, the reporter's face on the screen right now.
Alex Wagner.
She is absolutely looking at him with adoration.
She's
This
in love.
is the look that
This is
all
it.
of these ridiculous women give Gavin whenever they are in his presence. And he is about to say things about Biden that are so ridiculous, and about how he's not going to run. I actually laughed out loud when I first watched this clip.
And their mind would want to run when you have someone
I love you.
of such esteem as our incumbent president of the
Okay.
United States, with a record of accomplishments and a man of character, a man of decency. I'm old school. Talk about loyalty. I'll go to ends of the earth for this guy. I really would. President Biden.
Oh my God, she was about to throw her panties at him. She was 2 seconds away. Did you see her face?
Right?
She was like, "Oh my God."
She was so flirting with him with
God.
her eyes.
So
like it was so
gross.
gross. So gross.
So
Oh my
gross.
God. Michael
Yeah.
Stellar, thank you. Michael says, visiting angels, America's place for home care. Where's my pudding?
Angels,
America's choice home care.
There you go. Happy Monday, everybody. Happy Monday.
Now, if that wasn't enough to make you laugh, then this definitely should. So Biden is on a new strategy. Part of his new communication strategy is to troll. And obviously it's not Biden. Biden would know, he wouldn't know the first thing about trolling, but his team is going to be trolling Trump. And apparently sources close to Trump say that this is working, that it is getting under Trump's skin. So I'll show you in just a moment. Well, you'll hear a video about how Joe Biden will be incorporating trolling into his repertoire. And then I'll show you a tweet that his team put out that's an example.
Is employing a familiar tactic, though one that's relatively new for him. He's hoping to throw off Donald Trump right off his campaign message by taking jabs at his likely Republican opponent. Recently, Biden has been mocking Trump, calling him things like loser and emphasizing the former in former president. A person close to Trump actually says that he's rattled by Biden's efforts to get under his skin. Aides to the president's reelection campaign, though, tell CNN that the taunting will keep up as they shift into general election mode.
And so this is what Joe Biden's Twitter account put out. They linked to that story that you just saw. And then he said, "Be best," which of course is Melania Trump's catchphrase.
He's rattled, you guys.
Trump
Seriously,
is rattled by this.
Who buys that crap? I love it. The propaganda. It's like the spin. Look at the spin machine. He's rattled.
I mean, it's just, listen, he's going to be playing Trump's game. I guess that's maybe a good strategy. I don't know. I have no idea. Do you think that's going to work?
He's not playing the game. His bunch of like 20-year-old staffers are playing the game. It's the same people who put a bunch of crap out on Instagram and everybody goes, "You guys are so full of crap. This is the worst administration ever." Go to Instagram, look at the White House account, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Seriously.
Yeah.
Nobody's buying what they're selling. Nobody.
Well, there's unfortunately about 37% of American voters who are really, really, really uninterested in seeing this matchup again. And so there's some looks that are being given, and we've told you about how concerning this is with RFK Jr. And so he's been running as an independent kind of on his own without like a formal party ticket. And that will require some signatures for each state in order to get him on the ballot in each state. He has been saying that he will do that with no problem. But if he were to join the Libertarian Party, he would be instantly on every single ballot or in every single state's ballot. And so now Smirkonish is asking him, is that something that you are planning to do?
Is it possible that you will seek, as you are running as an independent, you will seek still to be the Libertarian candidate, which would assure you getting on all 50 state ballots?
That's something that we're looking at. We have a really good relationship with Libertarian Party. I'm going to be speaking at the California Libertarian Party convention. I think it's next week or maybe a couple of weeks, and then we're talking about me speaking in New York. But so that is, and then we have our own political party now in 6 states. Which have rules that make that give us an advantage to have our own political party. We're not going to have a problem. I ask you the question because Angela McArdle, the head of the Libertarian Party. Catherine, do we have the sound of this, by the way? Tell me quickly. Okay, I want to play something for the audience. This is the head of the Libertarian Party on my radio show in the fall. Roll it.
We've had a lot of good conversations and we're on good terms. And I respect his decision to want to go independent. The Libertarians really admire the strong position he took against mandates and lockdowns. And so we're going to stay on friendly terms and see what happens.
Bobby, make some news. I mean, it sounded to me like she's welcoming you to come in and ask for their ballot position.
Yeah, well, we are talking to the Libertarian Party, and I feel very comfortable with most of the values of the Libertarian Party. And, we, like I say, we have good relationships. I'm talking regularly to Libertarian groups. So we'll continue to do those talks. I can't give you a headline news story today, Michael. I'm sorry. Ask about something different.
Yeah.
So I don't know. If
If
he
happens,
doesn't, then there's going to be a Libertarian candidate also. Like they're going to have somebody. You know what I mean?
yeah, but if he does, that could be really huge.
I mean, it's huge regardless.
Yeah, it's totally
he's
huge
running.
regardless. But if he runs on the Libertarian ticket, don't you think it would be huger?
Oh yeah, because the work will be done. Like he doesn't have to mess with signatures. He can just get out
Right.
there and campaign and do all the things.
Yeah, and I think the
So-
Libertarians, even though they're not, I mean, I don't know if they're ralliers, but they would be like, "Oh, this is our guy," And listen, Libertarians don't normally win. They
No,
would be
they
like,
don't.
they don't. They're not as they're earnest, but they don't win elections, and so they would be like, we could win this.
Yeah.
Holy crap, And so that would be something for
And
libertarians.
he definitely sees a path, because
Yeah.
if you only need 34% of the vote to win, and 37% of Americans don't want the Biden-Trump matchup, that's I can do that math.
Yeah,
That
it's-
math is mathing for
the math
Bobby.
is totally mathing. It's mathing.
Okay, what do I have? Oh, yes. So the next group of videos has to do with trans and sports. And there's a lot going on with that, not the least of which is that Lia Thomas is suing to be an Olympian.
Transgender swimmer Lia Thomas has begun legal proceedings against the swimming world's governing body after it voted to restrict transgender athletes from competing in elite women's aquatics competitions. She's challenging part of World Aquatics gender inclusion policy, which says male to female transgender athletes would only be eligible to compete in women's categories if they transition before the age of 12 or before they reach a specific stage of puberty. In a statement to CNN, World Aquatics said its, I'm quoting now, policy on gender inclusion adopted by World Aquatics in June of 2022 was rigorously developed on the basis of advice from leading medical and legal experts and in careful consultation with athletes. World Aquatics remains confident that its gender inclusion policy represents a fair approach and remains absolutely determined to protect women's sport, end quote. The Court of Arbitration for Sport says a hearing date for the legal challenge has not yet been set.
So
I am so sick of that dude.
Yeah, I'm so sick of that dude too. So he hired a Canadian law firm to do this. And listen, when you have to sue your way to the Olympics, that's how you know you're not good enough to go to the Olympics. So, you know, you may want to look in the mirror and go, this is probably not the way to get to the Olympics. If I am a dude and I have to, in the male body that God gave me, you know what I mean? Tell me you're mentally ill without telling me you're mentally ill. Seriously. When all the other people going to the Olympics are going on their own merit and their skill and their athletic prowess, and you're having to sue to go to the Olympics or to try to go to the Olympics. Like,
because you just want to beat girls.
Yeah,
I mean, it's disgusting.
Yeah, you're a pathetic loser is what you are, dude. A pathetic loser. This guy is a narcissistic nut job, emphasis on the nuts.
Which I believe he still has.
Yeah.
There's also, this is affecting prisons, because now prisons, you know, are softening their policies when it comes to where they house trans people. And at Rikers, there has now been a rape.
It was April of 2022 when Rose says jail guards brought a transgender woman into a female dorm. According to DOC policy, as much as possible, the department seeks to accommodate an individual's desired housing placement in accordance with their gender identity. But Rose says this inmate immediately showed their gender identity was a sham. Investigative records from Rikers show Rose and other female inmates immediately believed the new inmate was clearly male who infiltrated when they are clearly not transgender, that the prisoner stated openly and publicly that he was not gay nor trans, and that he's a whole man that likes women.
When this prisoner walked into the women's dorm, what did the prisoner say?
His introduction was, I'm not a transgender. I'm straight. I like women.
He said he was a straight man in a women's jail.
Yeah. After the captains walked out, that was just hello.
According to her lawsuit, on April 6, 2022, Rose Doe complained the supposedly trans inmate followed her into the bathroom and groped her. That same evening, the acting warden of the jail wrote this email saying, I feel that individual is not a suitable fit for the female dorm. But the new detainee was allowed to stay. And early the next morning, Rose says the prisoner raped her.
Just grabs me, put me behind, and take my pants off. He raped me.
Oh my God. I mean, it's shocking, right? I mean, it's shocking that a criminal would lie about being a transgender. I'm just so shocked. God, these people are morons.
Happily, there are some actual level-headed people, even cross-dressing people who are on the right side of things. Lady MAGA decided to go to one of those city council meetings and was all nervous, and it was just so cute because he was like, let me just put on some lip gloss because I'm super nervous. But then he spoke brilliantly on this entire matter.
Hi there, my name is Ryan Woods. I'm very nervous, so let me put on my lip gloss. We all know the fairy tale, The Emperor's New Clothes, and the public was afraid to say that the emperor was naked because of fear and intimidation. That's exactly what's happening here. Anyone who cares about women and girls knows that a nude adult male and male genitalia does not belong in private women's and girls' spaces at all. Biological women and girls deserve their own safe spaces. Anyone can suddenly claim to be non-binary in order to enter women's only spaces. I ask everyone in this room, if tomorrow I decide to identify as a woman or a non-binary person, would you be comfortable with me being nude around your mother, sister, or daughter? Of course you wouldn't. I see no difference between that and what's happening here. I love to dress up in drag. This is a picture of me, makeup, wig, all of it. But no matter how much makeup I'm wearing or how fabulous I look, I have enough respect for women and girls to not enter their bathrooms. This bill is about common decency and protecting women and girls. Every true feminist should be supporting this bill.
Yes.
I'm tired of LGBTQIA+ activists getting a free pass for indecencies, such as in pride parades, drag queen story hour, and now the bathrooms. As a common sense gay man, I disavow all of it. I'm part of the Gay Straight Coalition here in Utah, and I hope that in the interest of women and girls in our state, you support this bill. Thank you. God bless.
Yeah, we
Love
need
it.
more. We need more like him.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean,
'Cause it-
and he does all the things, like he's the he does all the drag stuff and whatever, to each his own. He thinks that's fun. That's great for him. But he knows that there are boundaries. He recognizes what those appropriate boundaries are. And I don't know why that goes over the head of so many of those whack job activists.
Yeah. I'm seeing a lot more gay dudes come out and speak out against this stuff too. And they're like,
Yeah.
what is your problem? Like,
Yeah.
stop it. Stop. Yeah. You don't belong in a
Exactly.
locker room with 13-year-old girls. Like, what is your deal?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, this should not be controversial.
No.
And it's gotten to a point where an Oregon tennis coach and his wife, who've been coaching girls tennis for decades, they are now done. They are done dealing with this issue. They have resigned so that they can speak out freely.
Hi, Dave Brown from Stand Tall. Last night, my wife and I resigned our head coaching positions for varsity and JV girls tennis at our high school we're at. For the last 25 years, I've coached varsity basketball, varsity tennis, coached in over 1,090 games, won 667 and lost 423. Have had a lot of success, but I finally reached the point where I had to resign last night because of boys playing girls tennis. And the reason we did is we're just not going to support boys playing girls sports. This is wrong on every level. These are not girls. They're boys saying they're a girl. They're playing a false sport, come back and play a girls sport and go back to playing a boys sport. All they have to do is change their paperwork at the district office. I'm not going to support it. I'm never going to lie to a kid. I'm going to support my wife, who was a pioneer in Title IX. And every other girl that's come along now expects every adult to do the right thing and protect them.
Exactly.
We're not protecting girls now. K through 12 and women's sports. We're allowing men or boys to play in these sports. It's dangerous. It's wrong. We have boys in the locker rooms watching girls go through their get ready for practice or a match or a game. How wrong is that for a girl to have to endure something like that? What we would have called 5 or 6 years ago somebody going to jail is now acceptable in high schools and middle schools. This is absolutely wrong when a girl has to fear this, but she can't say anything. And if you're in a public school, at least in Oregon, you can't say anything or you will be ostracized, you will be put down, you will be shamed, and you just don't have a voice. People can't stand up and say anything, but I will. I'm going to say this is wrong on every level. You should contact every school board member that you have in your area and say there's no way we're doing this. Contact administrators, but say it and say it strong.
Amen. And like this weekend, there was that story in Canada about the dude who's swimming at some, I don't know, it was like some community pool, and he's changing in the locker rooms with the 13-year-old girls. And he's and this is acceptable. And it's acceptable by who? You know, like what I get so pissed off about is, where are the parents?
Yeah.
If some 50-year-old dude, it was a 15-year-old dude too, but if it was a 50-year-old dude came into our swim club or whatever, or community club, whatever it was, where my daughter swims, there is no way in hell that I wouldn't put myself in between that dude and my daughter. But my husband, are you kidding me? Like, where are the fathers? Like, there's no way my husband would allow that to happen. There's just no way. He'd go to jail before he allowed that to happen. So I don't know where, like, the mothers, first of all, I don't know where the mothers are. These mothers are total wusses, but the fathers, like, well,
the mothers are those same women who like had all the BLM profile pictures. They're the white guilt. They are completely influenced by the progressive agenda, and they feel so guilty about it that they just succumb to all of this pressure.
Well, shame on the fathers, because there used to be an instinct to protect your daughter, and protect your daughters. Where are the men?
I know.
Where are the men?
It's so frustrating.
Yeah.
C. Douglas, thank you very much for that super sticker. Senator Kennedy, along with some of his colleagues, are trying to introduce legislation about this that would allow parents, first of all, not to get penalized for trying to protect their kids. So this isn't as much about sports as it is about recognizing and gender affirming and all this nonsense. So here he is talking about the bill.
My bill is with a number of other senators, James Lankford, Tim Scott, a whole bunch of other good people. All we're saying is, remember when Secretary Hillary Clinton said it takes a village to raise a child? What she meant was it takes the federal government to raise a child. No, it doesn't. It takes a parent, and preferably two parents. And all our bill would do is say that parents have the right to raise their children according to their own values. That's all it does. Now, we'll be called bigots and xenophobics and racists and all that kind of stuff, but all this is just saying parents control.
By the way, people calling you racist and xenophobe and all that stuff, they get their choice too. And they get to do what they want to do too. It's kind of crazy.
Course.
You know, it's kind of crazy.
I mean, this is what it's come down to up here. If you don't, they call you a racist, a bigot, a Nazi if you don't agree with everything that Joe Biden wants to do. And he's controlled by the moon wing of the Democratic Party. And
you're
absolutely right. Yeah. And Sherry asked me, Daisy, is it possible for girls to get ready in their homes or hotel rooms? They shouldn't have to, one.
Right.
And the second thing is when you do competitive swim, they change suits. Like my daughter she'll go out there and warm up in a warm-up suit. And then she goes back into the locker room and puts on what's called a tech suit for a meet. So they change, and they change in front of each other. And that's how they do it. And so if there's a boy in there, I would be homicidal if there was a boy watching, or a man in the locker room watching my daughter get in and out of a tech suit or in and out of her suit. Not okay. Never.
Yeah, because
okay.
who's to say that you can't decide what age you identify as?
Right.
You know,
it's madness that we're allowing this to happen. I can't believe that there are people who think this is okay, that there are parents who think this is okay. It's not okay.
It's madness.
None of it's okay.
Madness. C. Douglas, thank you again. She says Leah and their partner have their balls in jars. Yeah. Really disgusting thought. All right. So we've had like lots and lots of gross, bad, yucky news today. So we need to have something good. And that is Greg Gutfeld losing his absolute crap at Taylor Lorenz. We talked about this on Friday. Taylor and all these other journalists who've been fired. I don't think she was fired, but all these journalists have been let go from their jobs because newspapers are dying. And she was all boo-hooing about it. And Greg Gutfeld just goes off on her in the best way. Here it is.
Roll it. entire journalism industry is basically in a free fall. Today, the Los Angeles Times laid off 115 employees. They wiped out their entire DC bureau in an election year. Major media companies like BuzzFeed News have completely shuttered their news operations. Time magazine also just laid off a ton of people, and Sports Illustrated basically shut down last week. Pretty much the entire digital media ecosystem that myself and a lot of other millennial journalists came up in has been completely hollowed out. Meanwhile, hundreds of workers at Condé Nast, the parent company of pretty much every major magazine from GQ to Vogue to The New Yorker to Vanity Fair, are on strike because they're also facing impending layoffs. Even if you do get a job, journalists' salaries have been stagnant and even declined. And by the way, we don't make that much to begin with. I don't think people understand how bad the world would be without journalists.
She's right. Without journalists, who would arrest criminals or put out fires or build our roads or take care of the sick or deliver our mail or pick up our trash, keep our water and electricity running or defend our country? So yeah, thank God for journalists. Look, crazy lady, everyone understands how bad the world would be without journalists because we haven't had any for decades. Look at all the hoaxes our so-called media pushed while missing the biggest stories of the century. Fact is, only our treasured journalists could fake a scam involving Russia to undermine the incoming president without consequences. Only our treasured journalists could deny a lab-leaked virus for years and suppress anyone who dared question the lying experts. Only our treasured journalists would proudly disseminate the government's talking points word for word on everything from Hunter's laptop to border policy to crime stats, looting, and riots. Only our treasured journalists would protect a vegetable who can't leave his basement or finish a sentence and helps him get elected president with multiple election law changes, then eggs on attacking his political enemies while celebrating the imprisonment of those who didn't vote for him. And only our treasured journalists would want us to hear about the tragic plight of our treasured journalists. So yeah, I don't think the world would understand how bad the world would be without journalists, but I have a feeling millions of us would like to find out.
So great. Can I just tell you one of my pet peeves is people who hold those little mics. Those little
I
tiny
know.
mics.
What is that?
I hate that. It's like
why do they do it?
I don't know, but I see a lot of people like on social media that hold those stupid little clippy mics and they hold them and they're like, I'm holding a little mic. Look at my little mic. I'm holding it. Now I'm important. Look at me holding it.
I don't understand that either.
Get a real mic. Like, what is your problem?
Just get a mic.
Like,
Or don't need one.
Or don't use it. Exactly. But what?
I don't get it.
Pet peeve.
Do not get it. Okay, one more good thing before we get to double D's, and that is John Fetterman continuing on his remarkable recovery of becoming a normal person. And so his actual house was visited by a bunch of Hamas-loving psychopath weird protesters, and they were all screaming at him about genocide, blah, blah, blah. And so what did he do? He got on the roof and he freaking waved the Israeli flag at them. And I love this so much.
You can't hide! You're supporting genocide! Fetterman,
oh my God, I love it.
Genocide! Fetterman, you can't hide! You're supporting genocide! Fetterman, you can't hide! You're supporting genocide!
Suck it, protesters.
He's like, take that. That's
I
fantastic.
just love it.
I
Love it
so much. He's looking.
All right, now it is time for your double D's.
Okay, so this teacher, I think she was promising them some sort of dessert.
Hot chocolate.
It was hot chocolate. That's right. She was saying, "Hey, listen, I'll buy you guys, or I'll get you guys hot chocolate to I think it was a kindergarten or first grade or some sort of elementary school students." And she was like, "I'll get you guys hot chocolate if I make this basketball shot," when they were out at recess. And of course, she's just a teacher.
From the whole other side.
Right. So, nobody expected that she would make the shot. So this is pretty impressive. However, this teacher is an ex-Rutgers player. Yes.
Really?
Her name is Kathleen Fitzpatrick. And
so do you think she planned? She just wanted to get hot cocoa for
She's
everybody?
an awesome player. Like, she was really good. So she's played at Rutgers. So anyways, I'm sure she was like, listen, I'm just your teacher. I'm like a loser teacher. He's like, I'm not going to ever make this shot. Because when you were in school and you were a little kid and you'd see your teacher like outside of school, you'd be like, oh my God, my teacher's here. Like, teachers aren't supposed to be outside of like a school setting. And
Right.
they're not supposed to be able to do anything other than teach. you know? So this is, I think she basically gave herself like a 3-dimensional form by doing this. And I thought it was so cool. They were losing their minds. I love this video so much. You're like, what?
Oh my gosh.
They're all going to
The
be like,
things that make kids happy.
I
like,
know, right?
I love that so much.
They're going to be like, can you teach us how to play basketball too? Because oh my God. Yeah. Anyways, I thought that was cute.
So sweet.
Yeah.
I love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. You guys, mypillow.com/chicks still having the huge discounts on bedding, towels, mattresses, so many other things. When you go to mypillow.com/chicks and you scroll down, you can see some of the really, really cool items that you probably haven't even thought about. Things that range from like PJs to travel stuff to beach towels, all kinds of things that you don't even realize that MyPillow makes. And they make everything that they make is of the highest possible quality. So check it out, mypillow.com/chicks. Don't forget to use code chicks so that you get the deepest discounts. It's time for some MyPillow talks. Let's talk about trashy names, shall we?
Yeah.
I have never, ever heard of one trashier than this.
What's the trashiest name you've ever heard, and what made it trashy?
So I worked at a clothing retail store in college, and this lady came in, and I was checking her out, and she had the sweetest new baby girl. And of course, I was like, "Oh, she's so cute. What's her name?" And she said, "Cuntley."
Oh my God.
It was monogrammed right there on her bag in like the prettiest script.
Oh my God.
EY, Cuntley. And I was like, oh, I mean, what do you say to that? And she was like, yeah, a lot of people don't like it, but we just really like it. And I'll never forget that. I think about that girl because now she'd be a teenager. And
Oh
I
my
think,
God.
what is her life like?
Can you imagine?
Oh, poor Cuntley. I mean, that's her name. I can say it.
I mean, it's her name.
It's her name. Like there's a, she's in school and they're like doing roll call and they're like, Cuntley?
There's no way that she has kept this name.
She probably kept it through elementary school. What is she going to do? Change it? She can't go to like where do you go? The DMV to change your name? Where do you go?
You have to go to court to get your name changed. And she should, like, immediately, as soon as possible.
Oh my
like,
God.
get herself officially disconnected from her mean, horrible, terrible parents.
Or
and
just
then
dumb.
immediately.
Or just really stupid parents.
Oh my God.
Oh
the
my
worst.
gosh.
The worst. This next video reminds me of how we were talking earlier about how you finally had this beautiful sunrise and it's been so rainy and so blah and so gray.
Yes.
Of course, that's how Indiana is for the entire length of January and February. We don't ever see the sun.
Yeah.
And so this spoke to me.
Okay.
Whoops.
This is a message for the sun. So if you're not the sun, you can keep scrolling. Okay. Where are you? Where are you at, Brooks? We are struggling. We need you. Okay.
It's so true. I mean, it
felt that.
For me, it was only like 3 or 4 days, but I was struggling for 3 or 4 days. I get
It's so hard
here. I know. Because we used to deal with it in Indiana for like 3 or 4 months. And I would be on the struggle bus. Yeah.
I mean, if I look at my little weather app right now, I guarantee you there's probably no. Yeah, look at this. So we're not getting sun. We don't get sun until Saturday. This entire week.
Sorry.
There's no, and it'll change by the time we get closer to Saturday. Those sunshines are going to go away.
They just do that. They put that on there just so you don't go completely insane.
Yeah, so that you have a little bit of hope.
It's
like,
all
alive.
And we're taking it away. We're taking it away. Screw you, Indy. Screw you. I know.
Total lie.
This is why I moved, you guys. It's one of the big reasons I moved. I couldn't.
And why I'm moving.
Right.
I mean, yeah.
Indy's nice. The people are lovely. The weather sucks.
Oh my God, it's awful. Here's a Great Dane for you, and you're gonna like. You're not supposed to eat. This Great Dane needs to be told that you're not supposed to eat your friends.
Oh. Okay. Oh my God.
Really, George?
Coda actually does
George.
that. He does that to Theo.
You can't eat your friend's head.
You can't. I have pictures of Coda doing that to Theo's head.
Oh my God, I love
I'll have to
that.
send some to you. Yes.
I love it. Labs, as you know, I have 2 of them and I love them so much. This is a total perfect representation of their manners when it comes to eating.
Sit. Gentle. Oh my God.
It is so accurate. It's so great.
So accurate.
They're
And
like,
then
that is a burger.
look at the trouble this fella got in.
Oh no. Is that a Roddy?
Did you chew up this pillow? Huh?
No, I didn't chew up the pillow. What are you talking about?
What?
I don't know what you're
I'm
talking
guilty
about.
Of nothing. I'm guilty
No
of
idea.
I love this. This is so totally us. You're going to relate to this absolutely positively.
Y'all, can somebody explain to me why we buy brand new clothes to go out of town and them people ain't even seen our old clothes?
We do this all the time. It's like
Make
we
it
have a
make
meet
sense.
and greet. We buy something
some-
new. Why would we do that?
Why do we do that?
We
People
just
have not
wear-
seen our clothes.
We wear like the same crap every day. It's like why are we buying new clothes? Yeah.
Okay, and lastly, that couple that constantly is spilling like what looks like paint on each other inside their
Yes.
homes. Oh my God, the
They're
guy
back.
got her so good,
They're
and it
back.
was like such a stealth move on his part. Check this out. Oh, wait, that's not it. One moment, please. Here we go.
Oh my God. it's his laugh. It's his laugh that gets
I know.
me.
I love it so much.
Yeah, so great. Oh my goodness.
So great. Oh, and I have gifts. I have
Oh,
so
I do
many
too.
gifts.
I have one too.
Okay.
I have a gift too. So we'll just like put Astrid off and we're just going to bring
Okay.
it in. We're going to bring it
gonna
in.
bring
We'll
it
do some
in.
gifts, you guys. Okay.
Bring it in.
I have one gift and then I need to go to
Okay,
my
tell.
post office. I haven't been, but Joy Marin sent me. You guys know how I collect the Starbucks mugs. I know people are going to be like, Starbucks, ew, Daisy, you're commie. I can't help it. I started collecting these a long time ago. They're like the Been There series mugs, but Oregon. I've never been to Oregon, but now I have a mug.
Perfect. Look at
Isn't
that.
that lovely? Thank you so much, Joy. That was really, really sweet. And that was a lovely surprise. And I need to go to my post office and I'll try to do that today. We have a really busy week this week.
Oh my God, it is busy.
This week
Yeah.
is crazy. Yeah,
It
for
is
us. But I'll
busy.
try to do that today. I'll try to do
Okay,
it. So thank
and
you,
then
Joy.
I have to thank so first of all, Reba Tusi, I think I'm saying her name correctly. She just sent me the sweetest card. She had watched our deep dive where I told the story about my ex and Thomas, and she just sent the loveliest card, and I just so appreciate that. And Shelly Ethington sent a Starbucks gift card, which will get used, obviously. Thank you so much for that.
So nice.
Beverly Bartholomew sent me that same balls shirt, like that says "Put your balls on me" with the Christmas tree.
Yes.
Oh my God, I love that so much.
You got that too.
Love that so much. And then the Brenda from Costa Rica, our friend Brenda. Oh my gosh. I have to just even say what the card says because this is the coolest thing ever. So she said this. She wrote this to Thomas. Okay, so she said, "Hi Thomas, this is a special cape for you. It's called a cape of courage. You can wear it when you get scared or nervous or just want to feel special. Wear it to doctor appointments and trips to the hospital for extra special courage. It has been prayed over to let you feel God's love for you all the time. When your mom was sharing her story about you, someone said something about you needing a cape because you were so brave. I knew right away where to get you one. I'm sure you know your mom is very special to many people. Because of that, you're special and loved too. I hope you enjoy your cape and that you like penguins. Soar high, my friend, and be brave." And that's from Brenda. And then she included this brochure because this is like Capes of Courage is like an actual company that makes these. And look at this. It's like this. It's a cape.
Oh my
It has
gosh.
this
And he is
on
like a
one side.
superhero. He is
Okay,
literally a
on the
superhero.
other.
It's so cute. Like, what is it? Is it heavy?
It's not like it's not super heavy, but it's super soft and just
Okay. He's gonna
it's just
love
like-
it.
It's a cape. It's like a really sturdy cape. I just
I
love that
love
so much.
that. That's so
Oh my God.
sweet. I love that. That's so sweet because he
I
is
know.
literally a superhero, you guys.
Totally.
He
And
is.
then From Cindy Patton. Cindy sent this hat.
Shit show supervisor. I love it. That's so great.
She sent this raccoon.
So cute. Oh my gosh, that's so cute.
So cute. Oh my gosh. She sent the cutest PJs. Oh my gosh. Well, first she sent like this cute little wallet thing, which is really cool.
Adorable.
Super
Yeah.
cute. And she sent the cutest PJs. I love these.
They look
They're little
soft.
pants. They are soft and this super, super cute.
Oh my God, those are so nice.
I love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. So thank you so much to Cindy Patton for that. And then I don't know who sent these. So I think maybe you're supposed to get one, is how I'm imagining that this works.
Okay.
It came directly from Amazon. There was no card. So I don't know who sent it, but it's called a 2-2 lamp. And so here's what it looks like. I opened one of them and it's like this lamp. And I think it's the thing like where if you touch it, then like if you have a lamp at home, it lights up.
Oh my God.
Because there's two, right?
I love that.
It comes in these boxes. And so here's one and here's the other. So I don't know if I'm supposed to send it to you.
How does that even work?
I don't know. It's got the instructions. I haven't read through them carefully yet, but it's basically, it says it connects you with those you love, no matter where they are in the world, with a simple touch. You touch your lamp and your loved one's lamp will echo across the room or across the world.
Oh my gosh. I love this.
Isn't that the coolest?
It's
No
so
idea who sent it.
cool. So like I'll be sitting in my family room and I'll have it in my office and you'll turn it on. I'll be like, Mock, just turn the light on.
Yeah, like you would know that I just touched it and was thinking about you or whatever.
I love that.
Isn't that the cutest thing? So
That
I don't
is
know
really
who sent it.
cute.
Somebody needs
And
to
maybe
identify
somebody's
themselves.
saying it may be for Thomas and not for me, which actually would make a lot of sense.
Well, I don't know. I legit
You just
don't know.
because you got the one, right? You didn't get two. You got one.
No, I got two.
You got
And that's
two.
why I thought the other one I'm supposed to give
It's
to you.
probably for Thomas. It's probably for Thomas, which
I
would
don't
make a
know.
lot of sense. You should totally put it in Thomas's room.
If somebody could take credit for that and tell me who it's supposed
Right.
to go to.
Yeah,
that
somebody
would be
wants to know
great.
what's the company name, Mock.
Oh, I'll show you. Hang on, let me find that little brochure thing. I just had it. What did I do with it? Oh, here it is. It's called. This is what it's called. 2-2 lamp.
Okay, that's precious.
Yeah,
That's really really precious.
or maybe it's Tatwoo. Tatwoo. I have no idea, but
It's such a neat idea, and I have no idea how they engineer something like that.
I
Like
know.
I'll have to ask
Yeah, I
my
don't
left
get it
brain
either.
daughter. How do you do something like that? You're smart. Tell me.
It's super super cool. So
It's
I
very
am
cool.
happy to give it to Daisy or to Thomas, whoever it was meant
Probably,
for.
probably a Thomas thing, Mary. I feel like it's a Thomas thing, which is absolutely precious. What a
So
sweet thing to do.
Everybody,
oh my
you
gosh.
guys are so
I know,
nice.
right?
Oh my God.
So sweet. Okay, you want me to grab Astrid real quick?
Yes.
We done? Okay, hold on.
I hope that somebody takes credit for that because I need to see who did that.
Yeah, everybody's home.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, we
Everybody's
ran long
home.
today.
Everybody's home, but I can
Look, he's calm though. He's calm. Coda's calm.
kind of calm.
Oh,
I see Theo. That's Theo.
Mush
Teddy
Bear.
Mush Bear says hello. And I think Astrid just is not coming in. She's just like, I'm going to lay. But Teddy Mush Bear says hello. Look at his sweet face.
Look at his moosh.
He's such a good boy, you
He's
guys.
so
He's so
sweet.
good. Okay, Astrid's not coming in. She's too.
Oh, I
fat
heard
and
flapping. Somebody just
That
flapped.
was
I heard it.
That was a Coda flap. He did it just for
Okay.
you guys. So it was a Monday
All right.
flap coming from afar. You
I
guys
heard it.
have a fantastic Monday. He's doing some to his daddy. You guys have a great Monday, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.